Boom. Check this out. Hey guys, this is like my 300th take, so hopefully I'm gonna nail it this time. I'm not gonna bore you guys to death, get to the goods here, but this is exciting because this is my first OG Powell-Peralta deck since I've started collecting. And this is OG. This is old school. Almost NOS. Like, it is so beautiful, it is so clean. There's one little pressure crack that's here just from aging. I mean, this deck's over 30 years old. You can barely notice it. The rest of it is so clean. The edges are so good. I'm so stoked on this board. So this is the Steve Saiz, the spoon version. They had a kick nose version in the spoon. This one is the spoon. Again, not a lot of concave happening here, right? But just such a sexy, sexy deck. So in around the 89, they went to the 4-color graphics on top as well for the top logos. And so one of the ways to identify between the full-size spoon and the full-size kick is, I believe the kick one has, the kick nose has yellow or gold wings, and obviously the spoon here has the red, or some call it copper. And man, it just looks so good. It's almost like a suede or a flat black look to it. And it feels so good in the hand. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like a mental thing, but hanging on to this board in your hands just feels so sick. So nice. And so Steve says he was the 4th street skater that was brought to the team. Powell had their vert thing going on, but they acknowledged that there's this kind of new movement towards the street skating. So we know that they brought on Tommy G there. From what I'm reading, and again, guys, if I'm saying stuff wrong, now I'm pulling this off the Powell site, but if I'm saying things wrong, don't hesitate to correct me. I'm not claiming to know everything. But what they said was that Tommy G was first. Mike Vallely, which you can't see, but you guys have seen my line one in the past. I'll have to do a video on it at some point. And then Ray Barbee up there was the 3rd, and then the 4th was Steve Saiz. And so they call this the feather or totem. But yeah, it's just so sick. So sick. So I'm just punching in. Yeah, so I managed to get this deck. I'm involved with a few different groups on Facebook, actually a pile of different groups. 2 Canadian ones specifically though, Canadian Skateboard Collectors, and then Canadian Skateboard Collectors Buy, Sell, and Trade. Both amazing groups with some awesome people in there, guys. They're really good resource for, understanding, decks, OG versus reissue, all of that good stuff. Very knowledgeable group of guys. Some guys have hundreds of boards. Like, this is nothing compared to what some of these guys have. But just super knowledgeable. Great just to meet people, have good conversations, and then also just to have access to things like this, because these guys there's piles of boards. Both these groups have over 1,000 people. And so when you take that, you look at how many decks I have, and again, the majority of these guys have, they have got to at least have 5 decks. So you have 5,000 boards out there plus, and some of these guys will have hundreds of decks. Literally, they're piled under their bed, they're in their closets, they're all over their house. It's insane. But anyways, awesome group, awesome guys. I met one gentleman on there. We were talking about the Steve Stedham, and he has another one with natty edges that's white and red. And so he had said that he was looking at moving some boards. His name is Camille. He said he was looking at moving some boards. And so I asked him what he had, and he pulled this bad boy out. This OG, and he just made the price so good I could not say no. They're also bringing out the new classic reissues of this in a pink, which looks super sick, and I would have loved to get my hands on it. Like, I can throw, some money at that, or I can take the money I have set aside for that deck and just throw it into this one. And guys, all day long. OG, and it feels so good. So they talk about that silk screening because they used to put that silk screening in different layers, different applications right on the board. Now what they do is they do the same application onto a heat transfer and then they heat transfer the whole thing on the board. And so just to the touch, it actually feels different. I can feel the different applications here, and it's so rad. It has all of the history here. So we know, I pull it up. This one looks cool too. It's green. This is the Vision Psycho. It's probably like a 1/8. Maybe it's a 1/4. I don't know. Anyways, because I've done this 300 times now, I know it doesn't work against my shirt to see the holes. So I'm going to pull it up here so we can see the white in the ceiling, and we can match that up, and you can see old school hole pattern. And here, this deck is so clean and so good. I'm so pumped on it. I have one other OG coming in the next, hopefully in the next week I'll have it. I am doing some flight reviews, my drone related business stuff next week, so I'm gone for half the week. Hopefully I'll get it before then, and if I do get it, guys, I'll try to get it up. If not, it will be the end of next week. But it's a OG Mini Ray Underhill. So stoked on that one as well. But yeah, so Camille, good dude. And like most times when we're doing these buy, selling, and trading, gives the extra stoke in the slappies here. You guys know I love getting the extra stoke. Also this thing, CD's board hangers, and sends me a board hanger. So my last videos, we were looking at just the different ways that I mount my boards. We looked at the metal Chinese ones that I bought off eBay, and then also the Skateology ones. We talked a little bit about, hey, the opportunity to do it yourself. I looked at doing it, and I couldn't justify the time and energy and expense into it. If you have all of the right tools and the connections and you're buying bulk, then of course that's going to make sense. And so Camille actually is this CD board hangers. And so he doesn't have a page up right now. He's been doing a lot of selling on the Canadian Skateboard Collectors page. A lot of guys will buy from him. He's only charging $5, and you get everything that you see here. $5, and it fits so good on the board. I've had boards mounted on here. It fits so good. $5 plus shipping. So if he gets a page up, I'll link it. I'm on him to try to get one done. He hasn't done that yet, but otherwise, if you're interested in that, jump on the Canadian Skateboard Collectors page and reach out to Camille. You'll find him on there, and he'll be able to hook you up. So there's a couple sites that I'm on, the Canadian Skateboard Collectors Buy, Sell, and Trade. And again, with both of those guys, they pretty much let anybody from around the world, and you don't have to be Canadian. But please, if you're going to post, please just post in Canadian pricing. Do the conversion, then bring it on. Because yeah, it gets frustrating. As Canadians, we look on there, we see a board that's $100 USD, or we think it's Canadian, and then we find out it's USD, and then it costs us 5,000 Canadian. It's not quite that bad, but it is obviously a little frustrating when we get excited about a board that we see because the pricing looks so good, and then it's not in Canadian funds. And so if you can take the time and do that, then hey, we all appreciate it. Anyways, guys, I went down a long rabbit trail there, but I just wanted to show you guys this. Wanted to give props out to my buddy Camille, who hooked me up with this super sick OG, Steve says, Powell-Peralta 1989, 90-ish deck. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that. Peace, be good, stay safe. Cheers.